Hi teacher, I am sorry for this terrible condition because my screen recording is not working somehow. So this is how I'm going to do it, and I'm gonna give my presentation on my action research. Here we go. Well, first, I found a subject called Nguyễn Ngọc Anh Thư, and she's 17 years old. She is at grade 11. Her character traits is that she's smart in communicating. She can learn very fast, and she loves reading novels. But she's very against grammar lessons. But in exchange, she has good pronunciation actually. So the aims of this course is to improve the knowledge the student can take in, alter the mindset and lead to better learning process, and get a hold of basic grammar again. The course happens on every Tuesdays and Monday, around 2 p.m. to 3:30 p.m. And I was hired to help her improve the grammar by her mother. This happens, and for this action research, I focus on the first 2 weeks, May 12th to 25th. Well, I plan to do more, but as I observed, the first 2 weeks seems really fit for this research as it has the most going on with it. Well, for day one, for day one, this is only the starting day, so I had to conduct a small test to know where she at. But her level turned out to be below secondary. She got most of the answers wrong, and even basics one like present simple. So by this, I had to start from zero by teaching again the formula. Let her note down, then do the exercise. Well, this way I use the methods. For the Piaget's method, I applied constructivism by letting her construct her notes from my lecture. So this is what happened. I lecture her on the present simple, on everything about the present simple, and then I let her construct her own notes, and she gave formula like this. Very good. Well, from one of the stages from Piaget, about 11 years old and above, they are capable of logical thinking, so formula works very well with them. And she even gives example. She even noted down my examples for these things, formulas, and another examples. But the problem is that but the consequence is not something serious because she's still proving that she's very good at understanding things fast if she just focus. But the thing is, she got bored very easily. So maybe it's just about like she started from school, but it's another weakness from her. So, but there's a lot of things going. And for the exercise, I divided into two sections to reduce her cognitive overload. Like I divide into two sections. First one, she has to use verb bear. Second, she has to use the second one. She has to use verb as an es. And later on, I will combine these two sections into one for her to practice later. And I even use the fading technique from Vygotsky, which means that after learning the formula, I asked her to cover the formula and do it herself. This exercise is an example. Well, for day 2, this is where the problem escalated. She started checking her phone for the time, and she might purposefully did her exercise slower to stretch the time until the class is over. My intervention is that I noticed her procrastination, so I stopped to have a little chat. I asked her about her hobby, her experience and stuff, and this is when the problem rose. I discovered her spite for grammar, and she deemed it useless and unrealistic. Well, I did a recording for this conversation, and I embedded it on the slide, so I hope you will watch it. So I asked her that how can she form a sentence if there is no grammar? Like how can she like learn by heart everything? Because she says so. So I lead her into one of her hobbies, which is about reading books. Like one of the books, like some of the books will not get a Vietnamese translation, and and how will she read it? If it's so interesting, it triggers her. Like she said that she did not think twice about it at all. And this is where I think I just used Erickson's personal development stage, which like encourage her to look at different perspective. Uh, like basically, he said, Erickson stated that we have to let the student states look at perspective from writers, and this is what I did for the third day. What Erickson told that we have to let the student know. We have to let the student learn from different perspectives, something like that. And this is for example, old writer, and this is exactly what I did on the third day. Well, I showed her this book called Clara and the Sun. It is romance, one of her go-to genre, and I scaffolded her and I told her to take time and read the first chapter. As expected, she did not understand everything, as there are a lot of complex grammar. So this create based on Piaget, this create cognitive disequilibrium. As she thought that, well, I really do need grammar to read all of this. So after that I just scaffolded her into the chapter, explaining what is happening, and then I took the advantage and I used the book as a pedal for my next lesson into the present continuous. Well, this drove back to her statement that she made. Grammar is used, and I explained the chapter to her, and she think that it was very captivating, and this with me. I use it as the lead-in for the next lesson. Really good, right? Well, the result is that she did rethink her thoughts. She stayed focused more later in the lesson, and the effectiveness of the reward system is still at work. It became the principle of the classroom rule, though. Okay, and the YouTube link is here. Well, day 4 is the last day of this research. I really do plan to do more, though. While studying present continuous, she finally focused more on the lesson, and that was a good thing. Finally, she had problem mixing up the use of both tenses, which are present simple and present continuous, and she constantly forgot the sign to use it. So I intervened by letting her watch a video like this. I asked her to describe what is happening, and then I will correct her I will correct her orally, and I will use the example of everything surrounding her, like what is happening right now. What are you doing with me? I am studying English with Mr. Wong, something like that. Well, which really caught her attention, and her learning seems more immersive and interactive. Well, the result is that she got a hold of basic grammar once again, and she realized that the old knowledge never left. It's just that she did not put enough care. The mindset from downplaying grammar, she finally came to her senses and aware of the impact of grammar on her English speaking and how it is connected to other skills as well. It left much to be desired. As I moved toward the second week, I realized that we were moving a tad too slow. But however, it is completely understandable, as I had to understand and reason with her. My working method is that I couldn't work dynamically without a common sense of agreement, so it works for me. Well, I really did plan to do one more week, but the third week, just move on like every other lessons. She's doing exercise. I gave her games. I gave her tests. A lot of things happen on the 2 weeks, so I think it is best if I just focus more on the first 2 weeks. Well, the experience I gained from this is that teachers and students need to work with each other, not for each other. Like, it is better if we get rid of the hierarchy and stuff instead of just learning like human to human. And we grasp, and it is important to grasp the personality of the personality of the student. I had a teacher at my learning center. Well, he's very close to the students. He's very close to the students as he plays Roblox, and it caught the students' attention. Well, to apply knowledge, by using her hobby as a pedal, it motivated her for the better, heading her attitude towards the right way by acknowledging her as a slow starter. So I divided the lesson to fit her pace. In other words, I personalized the lesson. And for collaboration, after observing through learning, I gradually understand her, especially her straight in pronunciation. Through patching her holes in grammar, I came up with ideas to make her journey more interesting and purposeful. In interaction, by encouraging her to look at things another perspective, I also encouraged her to think into things deeper. By this way, I did not downplay her as a child. I treated her as she was capable of making senses and deep thinking. And this is based on the concrete stage of Piaget, the capability of logical thinking. Thank you. And this is Nian. Thank you for listening.